Look, y'all remember I told y'all that I didn't feel like going to church this morning, right? And I told you those are the times when you really need to go. My wife did end up making it back from out of town or whatever. Let me tell you what I got from this morning's message and from this evening's message. Be rooted in Jesus Christ. Right? Now check this out. I was talking to a guy. He was like, he said, I admire the fact, man, that you got your own business, man, and you working for yourself. I said, yeah, man. I said everything that glitter ain't gold. I said some moments, man, it's good, and some moments you hate it. It's just being honest. Those are the ups and downs I have in this business. Sometimes I hate this junk. Sometimes I love it. He said, but nah, it's not that, man. He said it's the fact that you had the guts to actually do it, knowing you the only one working and you got 5 kids. I said, well, I ain't had 5 kids at the time. I had 4. He said, but still, man, he said it's like, he said, it's like he said, like, even though you'll go get a job in the winter, he said, but it's like you know what's out there. It's like you've already been out there. It's like you done jumped out there before, so it's really not much to fear. Like you done made it through your first winter, and you know when spring comes, the grass is growing. The grass is gonna grow. And then he used an example. Like if you keep your faith in God, everything is gonna work out. It don't matter what you listen. There have been times, and I told y'all this, I have watched God pull me out of every single situation. And what always pops in my mind is when I caught COVID. At the time, my full-time job, when you catch COVID, they make you stay home for a week. But they will pay you for the week. But the round time I caught COVID, they had stopped paying everybody for a week. So I had caught COVID, no money, no savings, credit cards maxed out, and a 30-hour check coming, and I'm hoping that they pay me for these 40 hours. I remember getting back from the doctor with a doctor's excuse, didn't have no doggone money, but I had a $300 check coming the next day, credit cards maxed out, and no money in the account. And I hope, and this is in February now when no grass is growing, and I'm hoping that they pay me for these 40 hours so I have a check next week. I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember what happened the following week after all that took place. Why? Because God took care of it like he always do. I remember when I went full-time in my business. Man, what am I doing in the winter? What am I doing in the winter? What am I doing in the winter? I mean, what if I can't find a welding job? What? And then the guy said, he said, man, it's like when Peter seen Jesus walking on water, and he said, Jesus, if it's you, bid me to come. And Jesus didn't say, well, man, you know, the wind's already raging out here. The sea is rough. Jesus just said, come. Man, I really, listen, I prayed to have my own business. Started. I prayed to get better clients. I prayed for my schedule to fill up. Bro, just start. Just start. What are you waiting on? I sweated bullets financing my first zero turn. I sweated bullets. Now it's nothing to go finance a zero turn. I sweated bullets when I went and financed that dump trailer. Now it's nothing. I sweated bullets when I was still paying on that dump trailer, then financed this truck. It's like if you really want something and you're faithful and honest to God and you're keeping your faith in God, he will open the doors for you to just, hey man, come on with it. And what I learned today in the service was be rooted in Jesus Christ and stand fast in your faith. Now imagine if I'd have woke up this morning, said, you know what, missing the service, I ain't gonna hurt nothing. I'm gonna stay home, right? I'm gonna stay home. And then this evening, because my wife and them made it back late. My wife and them made it back around like 5 something. I said, man, just get all the kids situated, unpack all the stuff, and, you know, don't worry about, because I didn't want to go to church, then come home, and they got to unpack everything, and the kids got school tomorrow. I said, man, just, like I say, they got in a little late, so, I mean, it is what it is. And imagine if I wouldn't have went to service tonight. I'd have just, well, you know, I was tired, so I stayed home Sunday morning when my family just got back. I'm going to help them unpack. And then I just missed this whole service. Now I have armor to make it throughout the week until Wednesday night service. Now, you're supposed to be in your Bible Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to feed yourself. You don't sit there and wait for somebody else to feed you. But forsake not the assembly. So go and learn what you need to learn. But as I sit here, I'm grateful for everything that the Lord has done. Right? Remember when I told y'all, when you don't have money, money is like oxygen, you need it, right? But it's like, when spring rolling, you making money, it don't mean nothing. Where my wallet at? Let me show y'all something. I think I got a couple of dollars on it. Good. I got a couple of dollars on it. I'm glad I got this on me. I'm fixing to show y'all something. Look, I remember when I was dating my wife, right? And running to New Orleans and back, I would burn $60 of gas, right? And we would always go sit down and eat at a restaurant. And the restaurant would normally cost me about another $50, $60 with a tip. So I'd be like, I can go see my girlfriend, and we go sit down and eat somewhere. Because she stayed at her parents' house. And I was the type, I didn't want to drive out there and just hang out at her parents' house. I wanted to go somewhere where we can be alone, right? So I didn't want to go to the movies because I'd be like, man, if I drive out there, we go to the movie, catch a 2-hour movie, I'm going to lose 2 hours because we watching the movie instead of engaging with one another. So I used to always say, if I got $120, man, go see my girlfriend. Well, man, why she ain't come out here to see you? Because I didn't want my woman on the interstate, because I wanted to hang out, and I didn't want my woman on the interstate late. Because if she'd have came and seen me, she'd have made it down here about 10 o'clock, and then she'd have left before it got dark so she can be home when it get dark. But see, me, if I go up there, I can leave early in the morning, and I can hang out all the way to about 9, 10 o'clock that night and come on home. When I used to go to New Orleans, when we was dating, like, I used to go out there on a Saturday, but she would have to work. So when we go hang out, she would work night shift. So when we go hang out, it'd be from like, because she had worked Friday night, she worked the night shift, get off that morning. She would like to sleep at least about 11 or 12. But me, I'd be like, man, get up at 9 so we go hang out. But she had Sundays off. So what I started doing, I leave out of here Sunday morning, then I go to church with her, and then after church, we'll go eat. And then I just hang out there all day. But then I was like, well, man, I want to make it back to my church for Sunday night service at my church. So this is what I started doing. I would go to church, like she would get off Saturday night. Instead of me keeping her up, she'd get off Saturday night, go home, go to sleep. I would go to Sunday morning service at my church, get out of church about 12:45, 1 o'clock, get to New Orleans about 2:15, 2:20. We hang out all day. We'll link up, we'll go eat. Catch a movie. I would literally be at New Orleans about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes 12, knowing I need to get back home so I can go to work. And every time I went out there, it cost me $120. $60 in gas in my truck, and another $60 to go do an activity, go get snowballs. And we would do cheap dates. Like sitting down at a restaurant, we had stopped that because it was costing me $60. So I was out of $120. So we'll go get snowballs, walk in the park, which every weekend we'll hang out. Well, man, why she wasn't paying for dates? Well, you got to understand, when my wife had a kid when I met her. So I wasn't going to let her spend her money knowing. The whole point I'm trying to make, I used to see people pull money out, and I used to just be like, man, if I just had $120, man, I'd go see my girlfriend. But I'm saying all that to say this. When you don't have this, I haven't even counted this money. Let's count how much money is in my wallet. 100, 200, 20, 46, $270. This right here don't mean nothing to me. But when I was broke, living paid, sitting in my truck when I caught COVID and didn't have no money, this $270 would have meant the world to me. Now, this don't mean nothing to me. Only thing I want is a relationship with Jesus Christ and a peaceful home. Money don't mean nothing when you have it. When you don't have it, that's when it means the world. Man, listen. I'm glad I went to church this morning. Be rooted in Jesus Christ and stand fast, stand firm in the faith.